Hey everyone, welcome back to another recap podcast from SNXweave, where we give quick weekly recaps of news and important updates from the previous week from the Spartan Council and core contributors, as well as discuss what the Grants Council and ambassadors are up to, so let's get started. The next release will be Rosselhog, which will close out most of the remaining V2X scope. The following SIPs will be included in this release. First, there's SIP 238 to only allow token interactions via their proxies. This SIP is code complete, and there was a bug fix to address concerns from Balancer. The SIP is currently waiting for audit. Next is SIP 235 to update the issuer modifier, which is also code complete and waiting for audit. Then there's SIP 203 for the addition of a volume source fee. This SIP is waiting on input from partners to ensure all of the necessary bases are covered before sending it to audit. And the last one is SIP 230 for the Universal Circuit Breaker. This SIP is still in progress. As for the new liquidation mechanism, it's working great, strengthening the protocol and sharing the rewards with stakers. Liquidations are easier to track now since there's a new contract that holds all the SNX from liquidations under the new mechanism. Currently holding about 7.5 million SNX, Caleb said the state of the protocol is much better in terms of C ratio. On V3, the team is approaching the scope on 3 different fronts: core, governance, and product. Here's a quick overview of these 3 fronts. The core front is centered around the tooling and technology for V3, proxy architecture. Ollie said the new proxy mechanism we're trying to use will make safety checks when deploying new contracts much more efficient. The team is still building out the tooling, and approximately 80% is complete so far. Next is the governance front. The team is designing a new system, V3GM, composed of multiple modules to govern the system. The first step will be to release the election module, which will allow elections to happen on-chain on Optimism. The governance module will be a multi-sig controlled by whoever owns the NFTs on any given council. The UI is completely designed, and they're hoping to have a fully functional version of the UI for testing this week, and it may be available on testnet as well. The contracts are ready and should begin testing next week, and the plan is to have it deployed to mainnet by the end of May to allow for some simulations before the module is needed for the June election. And the hope is that the V3GM election module will be used to vote for the next epic. The product front includes all of the previous discussion on V3 so far, SIPs 301 to 304 for accounts, funds, markets, and liquidations. The team is experimenting with different systems, but it's still early on in the planning phase. In Grants Council updates, you may have already seen that CT leaked some of the initial wrapper UI designs. There was a scavenger hunt in the 300 group to get users to find the leak and post about it. This fun little surprise has inspired the Grants Council to possibly do a larger scavenger hunt across the entire Synthetics ecosystem, with bigger prizes and incentives. The team will be brainstorming ideas for how to make this a reality and possibly supplement other marketing efforts. The council is also putting together a request for proposal for flash loans for stakers. They're just looking for someone to help finish up the technical portion of the RFP first before putting it out for developers to apply. In Ambassador Council updates, the team is working on getting HOP and Optimism delegations and is brainstorming ideas for the OP token allocations. Millie wants to incentivize SNX OP liquidity and thinks incentivizing stablecoins may not be valuable because of the existing curve incentives. And Matt wants to incentivize trading. Millie is going to be writing an updated proposal for the Ambassador Council to review before submitting it as an official update to Kane's proposal. The team also hosted another Spartan Space last week, this time with Popcorn Finance guests Anthony and Leon. Popcorn is a new paradigm for decentralized finance where yield-generating products simultaneously contribute to social impact. Leon is the lead dev at Popcorn and has been on the team since the very beginning. And Anthony is the founder of Popcorn, explaining that he wrote the white paper after getting very excited about all the value being generated in DeFi and Web3. Sort of like a decentralized grant system, Popcorn token holders can determine allocations for organizations to receive funding from the fees that are generated by the protocol. So far, they've launched a couple of different products and yield optimizers that are based on stablecoins, and they are continuously looking for unique yield strategies and ways to on-ramp and off-ramp those strategies in a cost-effective way. Matt asked the guests how the charities are decided on, and they explained that the fees generated by the protocol are deposited into the rewards manager contract. This contract then distributes fees to the nonprofit or social impact organizations that have been voted on by the token holders. First, however, the organizations must be nominated and register for grant rounds in order to receive funding, and this whole process is led by the token holders. The fees that fund these grants come from performance, deposit, and withdrawal fees and are competitive with other yield aggregator products. Caleb was also on the call to talk about how Popcorn is integrated with synthetics. He explained that the issue with doing trades using only an Ethereum-based oracle is that there's a bit of lag time in the feeds. Atomic exchanges, however, allow for the use of AMMs as a price source with a fallback to the Chainlink oracle as redundancy. Forex trading doesn't require the high-speed, low-latency feeds that other trading products need, since they're basically stablecoins and don't move more than 5 to 10 basis points over the course of an hour. This makes it possible to offer trading at the pure Chainlink price with very attractive fees. Lastly, Anthony briefly discussed the Popcorn Foundation Council, which is in the process of being set up. They're currently looking for community members to represent the foundation. He explained, however, that they're first focused on building the DeFi products that they want to offer in order to attract the capital and fees. Then they'll begin to focus more on the beneficiaries. Be sure to catch the recording of the call if you missed it. And that's it for today's updates. Be sure to check out our weekly recap blog post, share this podcast link, and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear more about from SNXweave. Thanks for listening.